How I made $4,376.10 or $145.87 per hour with paid studies in 8 months back in 2022. So that's just last year. Quick method cat. I thought that was a cute picture. Let's go. What is a paid study? A paid study is a research study project involving you. You provide researchers to marketers with insight and feedback in exchange for money. These usually have high payouts for a short amount of time on your part. There are many different kinds of paid studies. Different types of paid studies are video interviews. Video interviews, they call you in Zoom, on Teams, some sort of video conferencing app, and then they ask you questions about a product, an event, etc. Video screenings are kind of similar, but these could happen in person sometimes. They'll show you a movie, a commercial, something on video, and then you will react to it. Focus groups, it's a group of people. You all react to a topic. You give your feedback and opinions on a topic or a project or something. This could be online or in person. Message boards. Message boards are kind of like Moodle or a Doodle or, a Blackboard. Those things you did back in college. If you remember that, pretty much you're on a message board, a forum, and then you give your feedback and opinion to assignments, daily assignments. Sometimes, you have to type something, react to something, upload a video, upload a picture, and then usually happens for 3 to 5 days. Could be a little bit longer sometimes. Product tests, you test out a product like, eye drops, shoes, a coffee mug or something. Taste tests, you drink coffee, you drink tea, you drink food. You don't drink food, you eat food, software tests, you test out an app, a website, and then you give your feedback on it. Game tests, you play a video game, you play a demo or something, you give your feedback on it. Clinical trials are pretty much you test out a new scientific device, research method, a type of medicine or something, maybe like a gel for a shoe or something like that, and then you give your feedback on it. These pay a high amount, like $2,000, $4,000, etc. But they take a long time. They're kind of a commitment, like short amount of hours. It would be like maybe 1 hour every 2 weeks or something, but you gotta stick it through. And then there's the test drives. You get into a car. Sometimes you don't even manually drive. It could be an automated vehicle. It could be, a plane or something. A boat, give your feedback on it, and then there's many more types of paid studies. Who are they looking for? So you're probably wondering, I might not qualify. I live in X country or I'm X person, but essentially there are studies for anyone. I've seen studies for people in Taiwan, people in India, people in Africa, people in Europe, people in Mexico. The other day I saw a study on energy drinks in Thailand, and then they asked professionals and non-professionals, they asked young and old, asked fans and non-fans. So if you're a fan of something, you're a professional in something like, let's say fishing or something, they might want to ask you because, what did you learn the past couple of years? What products do you like? What techniques do you like? How did you get into it? That insight is very important to them. But at the same time, if you're not a fan of fishing, if you're not a fishing professional or something like that, they want to get insight into how to get you into the sport or into the hobby or into the industry. So people who are not deep into X topic might still qualify for a study. And they look at a wide variety of factors too. Religion, age, sexuality, class, height, weight. If you have like a disease or something, your eyesight, your ethnicity, your race, etc. They look into so many different factors, and you most likely will fit into one. Where do you find these studies? Well, some of my favorite sites are Respondent, User Interviews, LE Research, and more. The more sites you apply to, the higher your chance of getting into a study. Check out my list of paid studies at FastNao.com. And yes, I am putting that in because I want some traffic to my site. But at the same time, all the studies I listed on the paid studies page, they're legit sites. Because I've signed up for sites before that send me spam. Sometimes I I fill out a study quotation mark on cars, and then suddenly I get all of these calls from telemarketers trying to get me to sign up for their car insurance, which is really annoying. So pretty much my list of sites are the non-spammy ones. So that's why I recommend using it. Types of sites. There are sites that post studies and then you apply for them. You make a profile on the site, or you go to the site, you fill out their studies. They post them sometimes daily, sometimes every couple of days. Sometimes you go on these sites and you automatically just qualify some of these without even having to apply for them. That's really awesome. And then there are sites that will email you studies or call you about them once you sign up for their list. And that saves you a whole bunch of time from having to go to 8 different sites, log into 8 different sites with different passwords sometimes. So they bring the study to you, you apply for a study, and the studies that email you are usually ones you have a higher chance of qualifying for. And then there are sites that do both. I recommend doing both. The larger your spread, the higher chance you're gonna qualify for a study. But it's up to your style. What do you need to participate? Computer, desktop, phone, because you need to apply for studies. You need to communicate with these people, and you're not going to use carrier pigeon. Private and quiet location. They need to hear you, and you need to hear them. So pretty much, they need a private and quiet location. Maybe you could go to the library and use one of those quiet location rooms there. That's why sometimes they might ask you for if you have a mic, if you have a headset, of headphones, because they want to make sure you can hear them quite well too. But I've done plenty of studies where they ask for headphones, and I'm not even wearing mine because I'm just alone. And then bank account, obviously you want your money to go somewhere, and they usually don't pay you in cash. Sometimes they'll ask you for an ID or address, and this is for payment reasons. Obviously they gotta send the physical check if they pay you a physical check somewhere, or sometimes they do it for tax reasons. But NDA is one of the big reasons for this. An NDA is a non-disclosure agreement. Pretty much they will make sure you don't spill the beans on any secret thing you apply for, like any study you're involved in. Like if Coca-Cola, you did a study of them and then they were like showed you a new type of drink, they don't want you going around saying they have this new type of drink. And then I recommend getting a PayPal and Square account too. A PayPal account pretty much lets you get paid, because a lot of these sites, they'll send money to your PayPal. Then you can transfer your PayPal money to your bank. And then Square account, sometimes they'll pay you prepaid Visa cards or something. And then, you can't sell prepaid Visa cards, not that easily. So you charge the Visa card to your own Square account, and then that Square account is transferred over to your bank. Boom. You don't have to use a prepaid card anymore, and you get the money into your account. So, I recommend getting all of these. Payment methods. Studies will pay you via direct check. That's a physical check. Zelle, I believe, is like a software that directly send money to your bank. PayPal, it comes with a transfer fee. Gift cards. It's kind of like Amazon, for example. You can sell them online or on sites like GameFlip. Prepaid gift cards. Charge your own Square account to get access for money, like I mentioned earlier. So those are the payment methods. Transferring money. Sometimes when you transfer money, it adds up a lot. Here's an example of what I did. I got a $100 Google gift card for a research study. I sell it for $90 on GameFlip because people would only want to buy your gift card if it's at a discount. Instant transfer the $90 GameFlip earnings to Payoneer, as GameFlip does not have bank address and it does not have PayPal. The $90 is now worth $82, and then I instant transferred the $82 from Payoneer to my bank, and with the instant transfer and yet another transfer fee, I'm left with a profit of $76.19. And now 1 hour of work for $76.19 is still amazing. So I still recommend doing it. Cough. And here's an illustration of it. I got the reward link on user interviews. I redeemed that card. It was a Google Play gift card I chose. $90. I sold the $100 gift card for $90 on GameFlip, and then I transferred that GameFlip card over to Payoneer. That's $76.19, which you think that's a huge cut, but that's because there's a transfer fee, and then I did the instant transfer, which is an additional fee, and then I transferred it over to my bank, and then now that's $74.69. So yeah, I ended up losing a lot of my money, but I made pretty much $75 with an hour of work. That's like a lot of money. And I didn't have to do that. I could have just used the Google Play gift card. I could have gotten an Amazon gift card to buy stuff. There are many different ways I could have gone about it. How much did I earn in 2022? I started the last week of March 2022. I had weeks where I applied for a ton, and the weeks where I just didn't apply for any. And due to non-disclosure agreements, I can't tell you which specific companies I worked with. Some sites record which studies you participated in, but there's nothing stopping institutions from finding you on these sites and then reaching out to you individually outside of the website via an email for the study. And once paid, you might not even know which study you got paid for. It might say something generic like sent by Lake Research Group or something like that. I made that up, made they exist. I spent hours searching through my email, Square account, PayPal, GameFlip accounts, and study sites to figure out how much I got paid. Sorry. Essentially, what I'm saying is I tried my best to figure out how much I earned, right? And I'm going to show you now. March and April. So, we'll follow this spreadsheet I have here. I got paid and responded. The study was a website test. It was 60 minutes, so an hour. I got paid $100. I transferred a respondent. Respondent then sent it to my PayPal, but the respondent takes a little cut, so I ended up with $95 in my PayPal. Then that $95 I transferred to my bank, and I ended up getting $93.57. Remember, 1 hour of work for $93.57. That's crazy. And you probably noticed the thing that says date of invoice. That's just when it appeared in my bank. Like the study occurred before it, but that's just when it appeared in my bank. And I'm not going to include the entire timeline of when a study, when I first applied for a study, when the study first got transferred to my PayPal, when I first finally got it into the bank. That's too much work. That the video is already 12 minutes, 30 seconds ish right now, so I gotta hurry. And I'm not gonna break it down for each, but if one of them is unique or whatever, I will go down about it. Like this one I got paid $140 via PayPal for a study on a shaver. So I had to actually go buy the shaver. I tested it out on myself for a week, and I don't shave that much. I shave like 3 times a week maybe. So then I gave them feedback on it, and I returned the shaver, and then I got $140. So technically, you could say that I don't know what happened there. I got paid way more than $140. I forgot to include that amount. So technically, I made like $200 from that. Anyways, next one. So this one's a question mark because, like I mentioned earlier, not all the sites you apply to show you where they don't have a recording of where you applied for, what studies you applied for. So these people reached out to me. They asked me to do a website test. It was a social media one. And they did not tell me, at least in the email, what website they found me on. So I don't know which website that is. That's why there's a question mark. But I ended up getting paid $150. And that was a physical check. Alright, May. So there was an info news study. It was a message board. I just answered questions monthly. Ended up getting $150. There's no, when you get paid with Zelle, you might notice I got paid with Zelle here. There's no transfer fee. So that's really good. So I ended up getting paid the full amount. And yeah. And then the next one This page looks insane, but that's because when I transferred the PayPal money to my bank account, I transferred it all at once. So this money, the $477.76, it consists of 3 different studies combined. One was on video conferencing software as a message board. One was a finance app website test where I checked out the app and stuff. Then another was just me talking on Zoom about trading stocks and stuff, which I do sometimes. So yeah, broke that down already. And then LiveMinds is a platform I did a study on, but I'm not sure I got the invite from. The invoice did not even say where it came from. It was just my name plus some numbers. So that's pretty confusing. But I have proof that I did this thing. It was my take on current events. It was a message board about it. Now we're going to move on to July. June, I did not apply for any. I was really busy. I spoke about cleaning product, got $63.66. I played test a racing game. This one was awesome because, well, it's not a play test. It was like a review. It was for a video game series that it's a racing game that I played, and they asked me to just play the game as I answered questions to them on Zoom. So they watched me play the game and how I played the game, and then I gave my thoughts on it and what I thought of the menus, of the characters, and music, etc. And that feedback gave me $325, ended up being $313.17. And then now there's another thing like last time where it's a whole bunch of things being transferred over at once. This time, these are prepaid cards. These are my choice of digital gift cards on user interviews. I sold them on GameFlip. These are all Amazon cards. Then I got them over to Payoneer. This ended up being $205.38 combined. And I transferred over to my bank. Ended up being $203.88 combined. And these are all game related stuff. This was 2 were just little interviews asking what I like about video games, what I like about certain mechanics in them, and then 1 was a message board on a new concept for a game, which was pretty interesting. It was I can't tell you, September and October. So I did one on health insurance. I just answered questions about health insurance for an hour. Got $139.03 from that. Gaming study. I couldn't find it. It was the most likely user interviews, but it's not on the email or the website. This was paid to me by Wise, and I'm not sure what this is, but it's in my bank, so I put it. Pretty sure it was a gaming one. And then there's a shaving one. I had to go shave, try out a new cream. And this went on for 4 weeks, but I don't shave that much, and shaving doesn't take that much time. And I ended up getting $380, and it went down to $373.35. My mistake over here, I put $400, but it was $380. But yeah, this was just me testing out a shaving cream. And that study before, I'm gonna go back, took place in September, but I got paid on October 14th, around the time. November, there was one on me ordering food. I just got concept for a food delivery app, and I reviewed it. And then there's this one. They just asked me for voice recordings, and you don't have to do ones like this if you're uncomfortable about it, because they're taking your voice pretty much. Ended up $49.32 at the end. There was one on solar. I don't have a house. They just asked my opinions about solar stuff. I gave them it for 60 minutes. I paid $175, 60 minutes. That's insane. Alright, so there was also a shaving study, another one. It was originally $80. They liked my interview so much, I got paid $20. Ended up being $93.34 in the end. And then I did a study at Curian. It was a protein powder drink taste test. And then I did a holiday cooking study at LE Research, which I then transferred both the money to Square, added up together at $165. And then I transferred over to my bank, $156.54. And then this is December. So you see dating bonus right here. I did a dating app study, and the dating app study gave me $50, but I used that initial $50 on food. So for the dating bonus thing, they actually had a follow-up interview with me, and that was an additional 60 minutes. I don't know why my 60 minutes are not here, but these are both 60 minutes. And yeah, sometimes if they're really impressed with you, they go give you bonuses or follow-up interviews. And then this was another video game concept. They showed us a video game concept and we reacted to it. And I sold these cards for pretty bad prices, honestly. Actually, not that bad. $5 minus each, and then it came out to $80. Transferred it to Payoneer, $76.19, and then it became $74.69. And then I had a drink thing, which it ended up in my bank. I don't know why I put Tofies here. I think I used Tofies for another thing, because this actually ended up in my bank. But pretty much it was an alcohol drink study, $125. I charged my own Square account, ended up being $118.66. So you can ignore this. And then next one is Payoneer, another drink study. This was a different beverage. This was a tea instead, and it was $185. Transferred at $165. Transferred again $141, and transferred again $143. I mean, yeah, $141.51. I went in the wrong order, but that's the end. And yeah, I lost out a lot of money on that, especially since I sold this for $165 instead of $185. A music study, I just spoke about music and stuff. It was a music website specifically. Ended up being $46.67. This one was at pretty early time when I did the study, because they were in Europe and I'm in the US, so it was pretty early time. And this one was another food one. I should have put it in here. I don't know why it's missing. Ended up being $96.35. This one was on banking. It was a forum thing on banking, and it ended up being $350. And I did it like a little bit before Christmas, but I got the money around then, and it was $332.54. And then Craigslist. I found this on Craigslist. It was an eyesight study. Got paid $175 for physically going on site and doing like scientific eye stuff. They did not put anything in me. It was more I was just looking at stuff, and then they did science about that. But I completely lost this in my email. I did this study like probably in October, and I didn't get paid. I didn't find it until recently, so I put it here still because it's technically from the past year. Sorry, a little bit sick. And then non-bank. These are cards I ended up using and not sending to my bank. I did not even include that food one that I spent $50 on, but pretty much I did a whole bunch of taste tests, 40, 40, 40, 40, 50, and then I did another LE Research consumer study. In this one, I ended up on, this was what I spent on the toll fees. So that was additional 100. And then there are unknown amounts in my bank, like right over here. These are things that are in my bank. And I don't know what the origin of them are. For all I know, it could be friends paying me back on Venmo. It could be, I don't know what else it could be. I'm not like selling drugs or anything, so I don't even freaking know like what this could possibly be. But this is a nice chunk of change. But some of it probably is Venmo. And then I know for a fact that there are studies on the list before I showed you that are missing. I did a coffee study, I did one on physical therapy, and I did one on alcohol and none of them were on the previous pages, so I assume 3 of these make up some of these. So there are definitely missing studies I have. And I don't know why I put pufferfish or chili here, but thought it'd be funny. In Ohio, apparently they eat cinnamon buns with chili. Okay, so total, finally. In the bank, I did $3,376.10 for 30 studies, or $145.87 per hour. Those are ones recorded in my bank. That's an average of 75 minutes spent per study. The ones not in the bank, like in the previous page, that's $310 for 7 studies. That's $44 per hour. Averaged out, that's 46 minutes spent per study. And then there's the unknown ones, which I don't know how many studies there are. But you know, there's 9 different transactions. There could have been more studies combined into one. That's $1,196.36, 132.93 per hour. Average amount, I don't know how much I spent per study there. So in 8 months, I made $4,376.10, or $5,686.10, or $5,882.46. for an average of 75 minutes, 68 minutes per hour. Even more if I did not do like the transfers that cost me some money. Not all sites keep track of what you apply for, so my estimation is 250 I applied for, with the average amount of time taking 3 to 4 minutes, which is 12 and a half hours of applying, but that's 12 and a half hours over 8 months, you know, so that's like a couple hours per month of applying, and I did most of that mindlessly as I applied, often on an elliptical, on my commute while I was in bed before going to sleep, so it wasn't like taking away any of my time really. And you know, when you apply for studies and you see one like you're on the fence about thinking you're going to get into, I would do it during those times. But if it's something you really think you're going to get into and you think you're going to get into it, take a little bit more time. And you know, sometimes when I apply for studies, it takes me 15 minutes, and sometimes I apply and it takes me under a minute. So, because like all my stuff autofills, I will give you now tips and tricks. Set up your site profiles to full detail so your profile gets more paid studies coming to you. This saves you time. Check if your study is regional. This increases your chance of getting to a study if it's like in your area. Use autofill software to save time. Browsers usually have this feature, but this will fill in your info for you. Put answers into the Word doc. Some screenings ask the same questions over and over again. Put your answers, these first-time answers to these questions, in a document so you can just copy and paste them in the future. Saves me so much time. Aiming for high-paying studies. Become an expert or fan of blah blah blah, and in just a couple months you can get accepted to study regarding that. Like, I'm not a big mobile game player, but I started playing mobile games in my free time because I want to be accepted to these studies because there are a whole bunch of them, and then now I'm getting accepted into them. Make a separate email. You will get a whole bunch of study offers, so make a separate email or make some filters settings for your emails. And watch out for bad study websites. Like I mentioned before, some are just an excuse to market to you. There's a typo right there, and you know, you can use my website to find more legit studies. And yeah, that's the end. Thank you. This took longer than I thought. This ended up being 30 minutes. That is insane. I spoke really fast too. And thank you. Like and subscribe, share, like the bell icon, etc. Give me suggestions for new videos. You know, what should I cover next? I will end up breaking up these different sites down, and maybe I should have separated how much I made and how to do things into 2 separate videos, but that's for the future. Thank you.